Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Andrea Kramer, Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Let's go to Andrea.
Well, Bill Belichick very pleased with the play of his offensive line. Tom Brady not touched in the first half, but Ben Roethlisberger was sacked 3 times. Mike Tomlin said it's not a matter of better protecting. He's throwing so many quick passes, they have to tackle the receiver. Now, as for getting to Tom Brady, as for protecting Roethlisberger, he said it's just a matter of getting the ball out quicker for Ben. Also, Mike Tomlin said still evaluating Heinz Ward, although he is out here on the field.
All right, thank you, Andrea. And, of course, they said that it was a neck injury to Ward. I mentioned earlier, if it's a concussion, he can come back into the game. So the report we got, neck injury, which means he could come back into the game, but he's not back into the game yet. Or hasn't been since that play. Chris, what do you make of that? I know what you make of it. Make of it the same thing I make of it.
Yeah, it's a neck injury, not a concussion.
Right. Here's Reed kicking off. 5-yard line, Brandon Tate. 23-yard line. So New England getting the ball after they deferred by winning the coin toss. And here it is, the numbers through the first half. And again, that run-pass ratio. There it is for the New England Patriots. Through the years, we talked about it going into the game. Since Belichick has been in New England, when they've met, it's normally been about 3/4 passing and 1/4 running. And tonight, a little bit more than that even.
I tell you what it's been about for me. It's been about a New England Patriots defense that has bounced back from last week.
And meanwhile, there's Emmanuel Sanders. So you've got Ward, who hasn't been back into the game. And Sanders, who did see some significant playing time since Ward went out. And he comes out. Big special teams guy as well is Sanders. So he hobbles over to the bench as Brady starts things from the 22-yard line with a play-action pass. And that is caught by Green Ellis for a gain of 7 yards.
Well, the protection has been the other story for the Patriots. When you have Tom Brady back there getting this kind of time and able to work it down the field, you're going to have problems defensively, even if you're as good as the Pittsburgh Steelers are. They really are just playing a lot of zones. They're playing, dropping back underneath, and that one shot there to Gronkowski is the difference in the game. That one touchdown, or it's a 3-3 game.
And here is Green Ellis, and he gets taken down by Polamalu after he picked up the first down and was maybe on his way to the races. So a pass to him and a run by him and a first down for New England.
Well, it's so good to have Logan Mankins back in the lineup. Of course, the holdout, he'd been out just this past week, was the first time that he was able to get back in the starting lineup. And he is their power guy, probably the best lineman up front.
Green Ellis again.
Green Ellis
the first 3 plays, they call his number. Gain of a couple. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
And really, Bill Belichick came right back to what worked so well on those first couple of drives. He has 2 tight ends in. He has 2 wide receivers and Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. So he's going back to the formula that worked to start this game.
Just fun to say that name, isn't it? Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Absolutely.
May I help you? They called him law firm when he first showed up. They went, what? That's not a player. That's a law firm. From the 44-yard line. Brady throws. Green Ellis makes the catch, stumbles, but still picks up the first down and several more yards to the 39.
Well, that time Lamar Woodley was crashing down inside. I don't know if he was anticipating run or not, but it left a huge lane on the outside as he comes here. Then Jarvis Green Ellis is going there, and there's nobody out there. Troy Polamalu had turned and run with the outside receiver, Wes Welker, and it left a lot of space.
So Green Ellis is out. They put Sammy Morris into the game at the running back spot. And Sammy, number 3 on the depth chart behind Green Ellis, and Woodhead picks up a couple. Harrison making the stop. In the first half, Pittsburgh Steelers allowing 211 yards, second most since Tomlin took over as the head coach, and Mike now in his 4th season. 2nd and 8. Brady with a deep drop and then throws, and that's Branch making the catch. Got position on McFadden, who forces him out of bounds, but not until he reaches the 25-yard line for a gain of 13.
Well, Brady has a way of finding the man coverage on the outside, and you're going to see McFadden at the top here going to take that inside technique. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers give you anything, it is this throw. If you're willing to throw comebacks on the outside, they're going to take their chances with that. They brought the blitz that time with William Gay. That meant man coverage. Brady saw it right away and made a big gainer.
First down, Green Ellis puts his head down and gets the ball to the 23-yard line, where he's tackled by Chris Hoke.
It was interesting talking to Troy Polamalu. Here's a guy that was so used to being able to sort of maneuver around and be the wild card in the defense. And he said, that's really not my job anymore. Lawrence Timmons now has that role. He's an athletic guy. He can make plays. He can play in the passing game. He can blitz. And so it's a little more structured now for Polamalu than it was.
You think he's happy about it?
He's always happy.
2nd and 8. Welker out of the slot. First down. So the Patriots had a brilliant opening drive in the first half and are on their way to another one to open the second half.
Well, that time Brian McFadden had him in man coverage coming across here and just never got there. Wes Welker came in motion across the field. McFadden had man coverage and was nowhere close to being able to make that play.
First and goal. Moves with the ball right on the 10. Ooh. Green Ellis runs into Brady. That's the most contact Brady has had tonight.
Green Ellis, gain of 1.
Gain of 1.
Yeah.
And well, Hampton then came in and hit Brady after Brady runs into his running back.
Well, Algie Crumpler's coming down on this tackle trap or tight end trap that they love to run, and that was going to be there, and that was not the prettiest thing in the world. That looked like John Kitna a few weeks ago for the Dallas Cowboys down on the goal line.
Running into Marion Barber, but he got tripped by the guard, as he did today by the center. 2nd and goal. They line up Crumpler as the fullback. Fake to Green Ellis. Pass to the outside is caught by Gronkowski for his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Well, William Gay is just going to get caught and fooled by the play action. He's in man coverage right back here. And as soon as Gronkowski blocks, he steps up thinking run, and then just there's no way he could get out there. So those little throws in the flat 3 times in a row burn the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Steelers look really bad defensively that drive. A lot of mistakes.
I think some great play calling tonight by the Patriots as well. Extra point is good by Shane Graham with 9.
Get that head of hair. Yes, sir, buddy. He talks about Central Catholic all the time.
He stayed at home, and of course, you know the rest of the story after his spectacular college career in town and on to Miami. Sanders is going to run this one back and get taken down at the 29-yard line. Good tackle by Devin McCourty right there. So uphill battle right now for Roethlisberger, down by 14. Heinz Ward doing everything to try to get back into the game. Neck injury hasn't played since the end of the first quarter. Had what would have been a catch overturned, and that could end his streak at 186 consecutive games with a catch, 3rd longest in the history of the league. But right now, bigger fish to fry for the Steelers as Mendenhall gets taken down along the sideline by Ninkovich. And let's go back to see how Heinz Ward had to come out of the game.
Yeah, initially it didn't look so much, but now you can see why the NFL legislates so hard against that helmet-to-helmet contact. Even a hit that initially you didn't even see the helmet-to-helmet knocks a player like Heinz Ward out of the game.
That was James Sanders on the hit. Ward off the bike and been down there trying to convince the medical staff to give him the green light. 2nd down and 7 from the 31. And a draw, but that was a badly developing play. Might have been nicely designed. That's Mike Wright who comes in there.
Yeah, one of the problems when you run a little sneaky play like that is when you got a little sneaky defensive lineman going to come back and he just abuses Trey Essex on the play. And that's not the first time tonight. I've seen that 2 or 3 times on the evening, and it's a good play. His quickness inside is making a difference against this slow offensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
3rd and 11. And he's going to be in the grasp, and that will be a 4th sack of Roethlisberger tonight. They still can't get him down, but Sheffers comes in the grasp. Crowd boos. Mike Wright is in there to at least get a part of the sack.
Yeah, watch Vince Wilfork come in, and then you're going to get Mike Wright around. You talk about Wilfork doing the dirty work. Here it is again. He takes 2. Ramon Foster unable to get off. And yet again, Ben goes down. This has been an impressive show tonight by this Patriots defense.
Sepulveda. Their catch is called for. Made by Edelman, who then has a little bit of contact. The official looked like he was ready to go and pull out the flag, but he did not.
Good.
Yankee Stadium. Army Notre Dame on NBC. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line is Brady. He only gets it swatted away. There's a flag. He gets the pass out to Crumpler. And you'll see the call here from Sheffers.
Number 72, offense. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
That was Matt Light.
Yeah, he got his arm up around the head area and just hooked him a little bit. You'll see him, as Harrison can do. He's so low to the ground and has such a low center of gravity. A lot of those taller offensive tackles just can't slow him down. And I tell you, Harrison, I know his back was hurting him a little bit coming in. Looks like he may be loosening up here in the 2nd half.
Still almost created a fumble.
Yep.
Halfway mark, 3rd quarter. 1st and 20. The outside, and that bubble screen had no fizz. Welker makes the catch.
Oh, Mike Tomlin talked about the flatliners on the Patriots. That would not apply to this guy. He was fired up when they missed the 3rd down opportunity, and he gave it all of them. We did a little lip reading. It wasn't warm and fuzzy or flatlining over there on that sideline.
We talked about Tomlin before the game, telling us that it's the cerebral guys against emotion. Well, Brady is both. And that pass is incomplete, intended for Woodhead.
It was interesting talking to Tom a little bit about it, and his wife, Giselle, basically asked him one day, why do you want to keep playing this game? You know, they're out there beating you up every single week. And he said, this is just what I love. He said, it's just my passion. I don't even know what I would do if I didn't play football. And you saw a little bit of that on the sideline.
A lot of it. Meanwhile, Timmons just came limping off the field. Larry Foote, longtime Steeler, went to Detroit for a year and then came back. Number 50 in his spot, 3rd and 23. And Brady's pass is incomplete. Welker covered by William Gay. And in comes the punting unit on 4th and 23.
And Al, I think that's probably the biggest difference that I see with this Patriots offense without Randy Moss. Teams much more willing to play man coverage against them now because they're not worried about that jump ball throw down the field to Moss, and they're getting these guys covered underneath.
Zoltan Mesko. Punt fielded at the 22. The rookie Sanders back to the 34-yard line. See if the Steelers can generate something down by 14, mid-third. Patriots and Steelers since the turn of the century. Pats winning those 3 Super Bowls and the Steelers winning a pair. Brady and Roethlisberger ranking 1-2 in winning percentage. Patriots won 2 AFC championships right here, but the Steelers snapped that 21-game win streak that included postseason in 2004. So steady and solid through the years. Robert Kraft has owned the team since '94, and of course the Rooney family. And there is Art Rooney II, the president. They've owned the team forever. Dan Rooney, now the U.S. ambassador to Ireland, not here tonight, in Ireland, and no doubt watching the game. Mendenhall. Dan says he always watches. So Dan, milk and cookies to you at what, 3:45 in the morning? What does stability get you in the free agent era? Take a look at that. Patriots, Steelers, Packers.
You know, they have a formula, and it works. They stick to it. Even Mike Tomlin coming in, you know, they had always had that defensive-minded head coach. They surprised a lot of people, and of course, with Bill Belichick and the Patriots, there's no guesswork at it. They have a system. They stick to it. They don't overpay for players, and they're willing to let guys go when it's time.
2nd and 6. And that is a first down for Mendenhall. Tackled by McCourty.
Now, they're getting back to Steeler football a little bit now. They're going to bring Foster around, this little power O that they love to run inside. And this is really what they have to do. I think they've proven tonight that they're going to struggle in pass protection. So if that's the case, get back to a little Steeler football. It's pounded in there. Plenty of time left here.
Roethlisberger swings it. Wallace makes the catch. They're going to be keeping him in check tonight, certainly not letting him go deep where he specializes in the long completion. Average catch for Wallace this season has been 19 yards, the point of reception from the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and I asked Bill Belichick, do you have anything special that you have to do for Mike Wallace? And he looked at me and he said, what are you, stupid? And he added a little adverb in there as well. Said, of course, the guy's the fastest player in the league, and we definitely have to cover him and watch him a little more closely.
Was the adjective blatantly? No.
No. I'll tell you, you can see the stamp now of Bill Belichick. Sometimes it happens, especially with a young team. They had won so many games in a row and started thinking that they were really something. And then the Cleveland Browns stomped on them. You know, Peyton Hillis, 184 yards rushing, 230 yards rushing as a team. And I think it gave Belichick a little opening to do some coaching this week, and maybe the Patriots defensive players finally started listening.
1st and 10. At the 46-yard line. Put a little time back on the clock after the measurement, and Ben going deep into double coverage. There's a bump and there's a flag. Wallace with Merriweather back there, and McCourty as well. And the 2 deep officials each throwing a flag.
Well, this is what you do when you got a guy who runs like this. Send him all the way across the field, and Merriweather just got there too soon. And now you get the kind of things going that you need. They needed a break. This was an offense that had become stagnant. They got some runs working early in this drive, and it opened up a little play-action passing down the field.
38-yard penalty. 1st and goal. 3 tight ends for Pittsburgh. Sanders in motion. Mendenhall. A spin to nowhere. McCourty comes up from the corner to seal it. 2nd down and goal.
Yeah, there aren't many young cornerbacks in the league that understand the defense as well as Devin McCourty, and he just locked down that edge that time, played it perfectly. They've been much more disciplined tonight on their gap discipline, on their setting the edge on the outside. They didn't make the mistakes, the glaring mistakes that they made a week ago in Cleveland.
2nd and goal. new defenders in on this play. Ben moving away, throws, and it's incomplete. Miller could not one-hand it. Covered there by Guyton, setting up a 3rd down and goal.
I tell you, Gary Guyton has had one nice game tonight in pass coverage. He is right here, and this is about the 3rd play in a key situation that he's been able to make. He stays inside. Miller gets on top of him. He cuts back underneath. Just able to make the play.
Night began for Guyton by swatting down Roethlisberger's first attempt. 3rd and goal. And Miller comes into the backfield. Stays in for protection. And that pass is incomplete, and Sanders looked around too late. Covered by Arrington, and Ben says, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing is right, because that was a blitz read. Somebody had to break it off. And where are you, Heinz Ward? Heinz Ward is the guy that ordinarily is responsible. My guess is that he was supposed to come underneath this pick right here. He missed either an audible or a hot read. And Heinz Ward's absence has come up huge inside the 10-yard line. They have completely blown their opportunities to score down here.
26-yard attempt now for Jeff Reed. Sepulveda will hold it. And Reed with a low kick that is no good. A little chip shot. And that's the way that drive ends. With a shake of the head and a chorus and cascade of boos. 17-3 it remains. Home cooking not too appealing for one Jeff Reed. Lowest home percentage in the NFL among the regular kickers, and he just blew a 26-yarder to keep it a 14-point game and give New England the ball at the 20-yard line. Brady. That's incomplete. Back to the missed field goal we go, and you have a sand wedge that will do this from time to time, don't you?
Yeah, you and I may not be experts on much, but hitting a fat wedge, that's exactly what happened. You can see his cleats dragging a good 6 inches behind the ball there, and it just never got anything on it. That ball probably wouldn't have traveled 25 or 30 yards and just didn't hit the sweet spot.
His first miss from less than 40 this season. 2nd down 10. Look at that time for Brady. Look at that time. And it pays off with a pass right over the middle to Tate. Brandon Tate. Tackled finally at the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 45 yards.
Well, that time the Steelers got caught coming up with Troy Polamalu, and Polamalu thought it was a run. They sneak in Tate in behind him, and that was the difference. If you can just sell that run fake, and I tell you, Tom Brady has been tough on that one tonight.
It's 280 yards through the air for Brady tonight. You've got a false start here.
False start, number 87, offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Go back to that last play and take a look at Troy Polamalu. He's clearly guessing run, sneaking down in here, and then it's like, oops, there it goes. You see him sneak a peek on the backside, and no safety in the middle. Tough to keep up with that guy.
And Brady's protection is just awesome. Welker over the middle to the 23-yard line.
One of the things that has happened tonight is they basically have these great pass rushers going backwards. James Harrison and has just been dropping into coverage as much as anything else. There's Harrison dropping back, and all of a sudden number 92 at 240 pounds in a space of about 20 yards, not nearly as intimidating as he is coming in chasing Tom Brady.
Green Ellis. And that's a gain of 7 yards before he's tackled by Ike Taylor.
Well, I tell you what, Gronkowski has had a much better night tonight than what he has. And it's really easy to get hypnotized a little bit by Aaron Hernandez, the other tight end that was drafted this year as well. He's a much better receiver, really fluid athlete. But Gronkowski tonight has made the plays receiving and blocking on that one in particular.
Brady coming close to the 300-yard mark. 36 passes tonight. A run again on second and short, and Green Ellis will make it first down and goal behind a block by Algie Crumpler.
You're seeing it tonight, Al. That's exactly right. Algie Crumpler right there. And it's amazing that he's been able to make this sort of transformation. A receiving tight end for most of his career. And this year, when I put on the tape of last week's game and watched him block for the last couple weeks, I was just blown away. And so was Belichick. Belichick made him a captain because of that role.
Caught by Branch. And Deion Branch is out of bounds. McFadden hustling him out at the 4-yard line. Second and goal in the final minute now of the third quarter.
Yeah, and there was no doubt that Tom Brady wanted to start getting the ball back in the hands of the guys he considered to be his stars. Wes Welker and Deion Branch. He thought he got away from that a little bit over the last few weeks. But he said, you know what, when we have a bad day, you go back to basics. And the basics of our passing game is get it to those two guys.
Second down and goal. Brady himself.
Brady.
Touchdown.
3 yards and a touchdown.
And now the Steeler frustration really exhibits itself. Brady. Well, these are the flatliners and the cerebral ones with a ton of emotion tonight as well.
Yeah, which one is which, though? That's the only question. I think Brady saw this stunt coming over this way and just sneaks in behind Logan Mankins, and I did think that ball hit the goal line. Remember, all you have to do is get the ball across the very front molecule of that goal line, and it's a touchdown, and it's pretty clear.
Graham now for the extra point. And that one is no good.
Well, we've seen a chunked wedge and a slice. Well, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, really the difference has been their inability without Heinz Ward to make these plays down around the goal line. A drop by Mike Wallace. Randall L. had one. And then the missed blitz read. Whatever you want to call that.
But through it all, one thing's pretty apparent here. The New England Patriots have followed up their worst performance of the season with maybe their best.
Yeah, and it's really surprising because I thought that the Steelers tonight were going to, because of the change in the offensive line up front, just try to play some power football. This Patriots defense had given up so many yards, and Peyton Hillis just ran through them. It was ridiculous watching. You couldn't believe it was the New England Patriots defense, and yet the Steelers tonight got behind early, missed some plays, and really were never able to get back to that running game and stay with it.
Point lead in the waning moments of the third quarter. Graham's kick is taken at the 7. Emmanuel Sanders. Tackles made by Kyle Arrington. Great special teams tackles tonight by the Patriots.
And their secondary has been hitting all night long. And check out Tom Brady. There you go. Remember me? I'm the guy you can't beat. A couple of championship games here.
Oh, they remember all right.
Oh, yeah. Brady loves when the competition gets good and the games get big, and he has shown up huge here tonight.
You know, it's an interesting thing with that 300-yard figure, which normally indicates, well, two things. There are two sides to that coin. You've either had a great night and you've really helped your team win, or you're just playing catch-up and you're picking up a lot of yardage in garbage time. But that 26-4 record tells you a lot. Pass incomplete. In Brady's case, it's clearly a situation when he throws for 300, the team's having a great night, as is the case tonight.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and we talked about it coming into this one, that if the Patriots are going to win, it was going to be because Tom Brady had a huge night, and there you go. Tom Brady had a huge night.
Gerard Mayo put a lick on Roethlisberger on that last pass, 2nd down and 10. Over the middle, caught on the run. Randall L takes it to the 50-yard line. And we go to the 4th quarter, end of 3 in Pittsburgh. It's New England 23 and the Steelers 3. And NBC's Sunday Night Football will continue after these messages. Now Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Andrea Kramer, Heinz Field. Start the 4th quarter, 23-3 New England. First down for the Steelers at their own 49-yard line. Then flushed out. Caught by Miller. Gain of 6 to the Patriots' 45-yard line.
Well, they're starting to really work over this left side of the offensive line now of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there's Pat Chung back on the ground. He's had a very good game tonight.
But again, missing a couple of games. The last 2 with a knee injury and needs an injury timeout here. Heinz Ward hasn't been in since he took a helmet-to-helmet hit at the end of the 1st quarter. They said it was a neck, but he hasn't been back in the game. So whatever the report is, it was enough that he was not cleared to come back in medically, and he's been on the sideline since the end of the 1st period. 2nd down and 4 now after Chung comes off the field under his own power. And Roethlisberger on 2nd and 4. Sprinting to his right, throwing on the run, and the catch is made along the sideline by Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, the one thing that I think you have to be careful about doing is too many inside moves against Ben Roethlisberger. Once you open that gate on the outside, he is just deadly scrambling out, and especially scrambling to his right. That time Sean Crable tried an inside move and made it too easy for Ben.
Chung is back in the game. And Roethlisberger throws, and Sanders makes the catch on the other side of the field. Rookie against rookie, tackled there by Devin McCourty.
Well, it's not just the left side. Flozell Adams having a little trouble with some stunts as well, but Ben Roethlisberger's been hanging in there the best that he can. He really has had very little time at all to throw it. You can see just as he's getting rid of it, there are people in his face, so it has definitely sped up his thought process back there. He realizes he's got to get it out quickly tonight.
Under pressure. And with his right foot being held, he gets the pass away to Isaac Redmond. Near sack again, but Ben that time with Tully Banta-Cain coming in, and a penalty as well on the play. And it's, well, offsetting here. One's on Chung, the safety. One's on Jonathan Scott, the left tackle.
Well, Jonathan Scott's doing the best he can, but he's no match for the speed of Tully Banta-Cain, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Once this Steelers offensive line, they're a little bit like the Dallas Cowboys up there, that they're fine in play action stuff, but once you get forced into a straight drop back passing game, they really kind of lack that quickness to be able to be pure pass blockers.
So back to 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. And Roethlisberger throws and completes it to Wallace on the run. Tackled by McCourty, moves it to the 5-yard line. They'll spot it at the 6 down, make it first down and goal.
They'll try and create just a little rub on the outside between these two receivers and back inside. Just allow that defender to get in there to make McCourty hesitate for a minute. And if there is a man-to-man buster on this Pittsburgh Steelers team, you're looking at him right there, Mike Wallace.
First and goal from the 6.
This has been their nemesis tonight.
Trying to make it a 2-possession game. And it is floated out and into the arms of Sanders for the touchdown.
Well, the first question is, was it a clean catch?
Got his hand underneath it and has control of it.
Couldn't change it from that angle.
Nope. Wouldn't change it from that one either.
Nope. Nice catch. They needed one. They needed one fast, and they got it.
Got his arm and hand under the ball as he went to the ground. Here's Reed for the extra point, which is good. And he gets a Bronx cheer. About 300 miles west of the Bronx. 23-10, New England. Emmanuel Sanders with his first NFL touchdown to make it a 2-possession game. Numbers to the two guys. Brady having a tremendous night. And Ben, for the most part, for him, a subpar night, though that was a good drive to get it back to a 13-point deficit. Tate from the 5. And Tate, with 2 kickoff return touchdowns already this season, takes it back to the 40-yard line, and that's where Brady will go to work. 23-10.
Patriots tonight have come out hitting while they've taken it to the Steelers so far.
This is Sunday night.
Taking it to him most of the night. The Pittsburgh drive makes it a 23-10 game from the 40-yard line now. Brady will go to work from that spot. Green Ellis, another good run. Gain of 13 yards.
Where they are playing a game with James Harrison on the outside. Algie Crumpler all night long has been able to get this block right there. And Harrison's sort of in and out of pass coverage. That time they get a double team, maybe even a little bit of a hold. But they have been able to run it just enough to make that play action work. And Brady tonight, with his play fakes, has just been masterful.
First time all season, the Steelers have allowed more than 75 rushing yards in a game. That's Green Ellis, and right now the total rush yardage for New England is 84. Coming into the game, New England against Pittsburgh allowing only 2.6 yards per rush, which is spectacular. And tonight, New England's averaging a tick under 5 yards per carry.
Well, remember, no Brett Kiesel, no Aaron Smith. And this defense that didn't allow more than 17 points in the first 5 games, the last 4 all over 20.
Lawrence Timmons still out, hobbled off the last series. 2nd down and 9. Brady, ton of time again. Green Ellis, and a first down to the 35-yard line. Let's check in with Andrea.
Well, Al, you mentioned Timmons, and here's the update. The trainers were working on him, massaging his right side. He has a hip injury, and they are calling his return questionable.
That's his last play. That was the play on which he hurt himself, came off, and hasn't been back in. So that's why Foot's been seeing most of the action in that spot.
And Larry Foote not quite the pass defender that Timmons is. See if they start to pick on him a little bit.
To the outside, that is incomplete. Branch, the intended receiver.
But I tell you one thing that Larry Foote is, and he is the emotional leader. He is the guy that comes out of the locker room talking trash and getting these guys fired up. And the Steelers, to a man, talked about when he left via free agency how much they missed their emotional leader. Well, it's time for an emotional leader right now. They can't afford to give up any more points in this one.
Look at that. One hit, one knockdown. And Brady, that's incomplete. And finally they get to Brady that time.
Yeah, they fired their gun that time. They came with that cross blitz that they're known for. They're going to bring them both right in there. And I think they're going to get an intentional grounding out of it.
Intentional grounding, number 12, offense, 10-yard penalty, loss of down, 3rd down.
In the pocket and throwing it away.
And that is a big one there. So now it really opens up the playbook here. Got to be outside the pocket in order for it to be intentional grounding. He was clearly inside. And there it is, not a receiver in sight.
Ball back to the Steelers 45-yard line. 3rd down and 20. Brady, then as he throws underneath, short gain. Brandon Tate taken down by McFadden. Woodley came in and got to Brady just as he released the ball. It'll be 4th down and 15.
Yeah, in almost every big down situation, the Steelers have been willing to play man-to-man coverage against these Patriots receivers, and that's something I think that Tom Brady's going to have to deal with for the rest of the season without Moss.
The rookie Mesko to punt. Floating kick. Fair caught by Randall L. at the 11-yard line. 9:12 left, 4th quarter in Pittsburgh. 23-10, Patriots. Back here, Heinz Field, Pittsburgh. 9:12 remaining. 13-point differential. Noeldi Moore in the backfield with Roethlisberger on 1st down. And Ben gets it off to the near side where Wallace makes the catch. And enough for a 1st down and an 11-yard gain.
I'll tell you what, Roethlisberger, talk about Tom Brady's arm strength. Roethlisberger that time threw that one completely flat-footed. He saw Wallace open in the last second. He just stops himself, and all arm getting bumped in the process, got that thing out of there. He's starting to get in a little rhythm right now, though. The Steelers are waking up offensively.
4 catches for Wallace tonight for 48 yards. And that pass is deflected and intercepted by James Sanders. And Sanders will roll all the way to the end zone for a New England touchdown. So just when the Steelers do start to get it rolling after the last drive and a good beginning to this one, a deflected pass, a pick, and a 31-yard interception return.
Right back here, going to end up running a slant, and this ball is well behind Antoine Randall. Came out, allowed Pat Chung to get his hands on it, and then it was pretty easy for Sanders from there. Just the way that it's gone, they finally find a little something going offensively and just have not been able to make the plays. And you know, Heinz Ward in many ways is a security blanket for this team.
Illegal group demonstration on the scoring team. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So the group demonstration call against New England, but with Sanders scoring his first touchdown since his rookie year of 05. And it's a 19-point differential right now, and Belichick, knowing the numbers, will stay out there and go for the 2-point conversion.
New England will go for a 2-point conversion.
Graham missed the extra point the last time, trying to get that one back. pressure's on, and the conversion attempt is incomplete as Tom winds up on his seat. 2-point conversion fails, but New England's lead is now 19. After the penalty, the kick will come from the 15-yard line off the foot of Graham. From the 21-yard line, Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders, who scored the Pittsburgh touchdown tonight, takes the ball out to midfield. That Patriot defense really stepping it up.
Yeah, after one of the worst performances I've seen out of them all year, they started dialing up blitzes like this. Little stunts inside. Guyton coming through and making the play. Had the Reed blitz called. Mendenhall blocks. Here comes Guyton again. And once again, inside with a new offensive lineman, Ramon Foster really had a difficult time picking up some of the stunts back inside. And in fairness to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 60% of what they thought was going to be their starting offensive line not playing in this one, and it showed.
Roethlisberger hits Miller. Sanders will stop him shy of the first down. And Ben will take the team up to the line of scrimmage without a huddle. Chief. Second and 1 from the 44. There's a flag as the catch is made by Randall L. and the tackle is made by Chung.
Well, for Pat Chung coming back off that knee injury, he's covering him any way possible. Sometimes it's not legal.
Holding, number 25, defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play, first down.
Case in point.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. You know, he's working his way back in it. And in some ways tonight, the Patriots have sort of played like the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, they've matched their mentality. They've matched the intensity of what you would have thought after a 3-game road trip the Steelers would have been feeling coming back in this building. And yet most of the emotion tonight's really come out of the Patriots.
Definitely. Now the ball ready for play at the 38-yard line. First down, pass to Randall L. And that's Chung again. Chung just in his second year. He was drafted in the second round. Of course, the Patriots drafting a lot of defensive backs in the last few years. Very young defense. Started 4 rookies tonight. I heard they have a pretty good coach.
Yeah.
Coaching them up too, huh?
Yeah, and the transition from this week to the past week, pretty amazing.
From the 23. Roethlisberger, another flag is thrown. Sanders works his way to the 15-yard line.
Well, it's hard enough to block Tully Banticane when he's onside. When he's offsides, it gets to be really tough.
And it's offside here, and Patrick Chung is down again. So missing 2 games.
Offside, number 95, defense. That penalty's declined. Second down.
A couple of games with a knee issue. Second injury timeout for Chung tonight. On and off the field he has been. Certainly not at Lambeau.
No, that's what I was saying.
Second and 2. Roethlisberger over the middle, and it is caught for a touchdown. Mike Wallace.
I tell you, for a speed receiver, this Mike Wallace has just impressed me. He's right here with his ability to go over the middle. I've been around so many of these guys, you know, when they show up, and this is one of the fastest players in the league, and generally all they want to do is go deep. You know, go deep, run a comeback, that's it. this kid has proven to me over the past 3 weeks that he is willing to go inside, take a hit, and he is maturing as a route runner.
They'll go for 2. Wallace's 6th touchdown of the season. The Wildcat, you got Moeldy Moore's going to take the snap. We got Roethlisberger flank to the left, and Moore will try to churn his way into the end zone and does. And so that puts him in a position down by 11 to get a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal if they can pull that off.
Well, there's just really nothing too pretty about this. It's just a double team on both outside guys and then the scrum. And who can push the scrum forward or push the scrum backwards? And Trey Essex got on the back end of that choo-choo train and just pushed the whole pile forward. There you go. Just put his backside into it, and they pick up a couple of points.
And a big couple too, because again, if you go for 1 or miss on the 2, you're going to need a couple of touchdowns. But this way, as I say, you get the touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal, and get that field goal and touchdown in either order, and that's how you make up the 11. 29-18.
Well, the game's not going to go away for Bill Belichick. It looks every once in a while like it's going to be a little more comfortable, and now it's decision time. Are you going to take a shot here with an onside kick? The Patriots answer with their hands team out there, and
some of the guys on that hands team, or not that guy, Edelman's out there.
There's always the one that I want to see him sort of drop it in the hole about the Patriots 40-yard line and see if one of those guys can recover the bouncing ball. One of those shots kind of right in there. Sometimes you get a weird hop. You get your guys running forward, their guys running backwards, and see what happens.
Well, there's the only guy back, and it's a little ground ball. It has to go 10 yards. Of course, now you have the typical scrum that follows an onside kick. And each team will think they have it.
But did the Steelers touch it before it went 10 yards?
Correct. And the Patriots all come away thinking they have the ball regardless.
I thought Keenan Lewis was pretty close to touching that one before it hit the line.
Has to get to the 40 before it can be touched by the kicking team, and Sheffers has already signaled that it's New England's ball at the 40-yard line.
Not going to matter now, but let's check out Keenan Lewis and see if he touches this ball before it gets to the yellow line. Yes, he did.
Foot.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered anyway.
Illegal touch off his foot.
Pretty good job by Mayo there. He almost knocked Lewis into that ball. He didn't jump on it until it got to that 10-yard mark. Gave Lewis a shot and I think knocked him into the football.
And New England with a short field at the Pittsburgh 41-yard line. Green Ellis, the running back. Give it to him. Gain of about 4 yards to the 36-yard line. 3 straight 300-yard passing games against the Steelers. The second player to do that, Brian Sight, back in 79 and 80.
Don't you get the feeling the Steelers defensively hate this style more than anything else? They like being in a phone booth and a fist fight and stopping the run, and you get them all spread out, and it's like they think it's almost not fair. Like, come fight me, and the Patriots just aren't going toe-to-toe with them.
This will be the 42nd pass from Brady tonight, and that's caught by Sammy Morris coming out of the backfield. He gets to the 31-yard line, and that will move the chains and take more time off the clock.
Well, for Troy Polamalu, he's going to take a guess here. He's thinking run. He's going to come in there and take a shot at this off-tackle play, and it goes the opposite way. And He is allowed to go try and figure it out on his own. That time he went opposite the motion of the fullback, and then the fullback lands wide open. And that play, maybe more than any other tonight, is really giving the Steelers fits. A little throw out in the flat.
On the 30. Green Ellis to the 26. And at this point, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to start to use their timeouts with 5:12. Almost never. I mean, we had the graphic before. 22-2 after losses in the last several years for Bill Belichick. So, I mean, they really laid an egg in Cleveland last week. And it should have been predictable. You're going to come back and they're going to play lights out the following week. 2nd and 7. Green Ellis to the 25. But then in this league this year, nobody knows anything.
I can't remember a year in which there has been no team really emerge. Every team has at least 2 losses. We have the Jets now. We have the Falcons sitting there at 7-2. The winner of this game will come out of this thing 7-2 as well. But ordinarily, we're used to the Colts or the Saints or somebody being undefeated, maybe going for a perfect season. And this year, just hasn't been that way.
3rd down and 5 from the 25. Pressure. Brady going deep, and it's Gronkowski for the hat trick, but the flag is down back at the 37-yard line. And it was Woodley who came in and planted Brady.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback. Number 56, defense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Rob Gronkowski, who had a game to forget last week, has a game to remember for the rest of his life tonight. 3 touchdowns.
Sorry, Al. Confusion in that secondary of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And once again, William Gay, the victim on this one. Gay and Polamalu just could not figure out which one was going to take which receiver, and it cost them another touchdown. We have seen a lot of just mistakes. There's another mistake, but mistakes in the secondary and coverage that very atypical for this Steelers team.
Now Graham, who missed his last extra point attempt, puts this one through to double the score. 36-18, New England.
And it's not the first time Tom Brady has done this to this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. We have seen him in the past. This is just a style. Of course, not everybody has a Tom Brady to play quarterback, and you can't do this with every football team, but you could just see the frustration level on the faces of these Steelers defenders. They have no answer for what Tom Brady has done tonight.
You know, it's funny with New England through the years, the tight ends, I mean, after Ben Coates left, really haven't played that big of a role. I mean, Ben Watson had a pretty good year in 05 or 06. And now you've got Gronkowski. They love the kid Hernandez, who we haven't seen that much of tonight, and Algie Crumpler's the other tight end. That's a pretty good troika.
Yeah, and it's been Hernandez a lot of times with the big plays in the passing game, but tonight, because they wanted to make sure they got those outside guys blocked, we've seen more of Crumpler, we've seen more of Gronkowski because of their blocking abilities. When they're going to get into more of a pure open passing game, you'll see Hernandez. But it was one of the things that the Steelers were talking about. Anytime you play against Bill Belichick, they're going to have specialists at the tight end position and a guy that can come out of the backfield and catch balls in Danny Woodhead.
Graham's kick is taken in the end zone. Sanders wanted to come out with it. Redmond says forget about it. Let's go to Andrea.
Well, we've seen Gronkowski with the hat trick tonight. I spoke with his mother, Diane, about their athletically gifted family. 5 boys, 3 in the NFL. She said there was hardly a dull moment with them growing up. Needless to say, everything was competitive. And not only the hat trick tonight for Rob, but for all the boys all around. Chris, 1 for Dallas. Dan, 1 in Denver. And, of course, Rob keeping pace tonight with the Patriots.
What a day for the Gronkowski family.
I think everybody scored in Denver, didn't they?
Just about. Man. Roethlisberger gets away from pulled shirt, gets the pass away, and it's caught up at the 40-yard line by Mike Wallace. And they'll hustle up to the line of scrimmage and snap it as fast as they can.
Well, so much of this offense is built around that 3 wide receivers to one side, 1 receiver down here to the bottom, and Mike Wallace. And Heinz Ward is sort of that move guy, and that just hasn't been quite the same in there without him.
And again, pulls Wallace's number, working that route to its max. First down at the 42 of New England.
You know, Mike Wallace is starting to show some real patience. It was funny watching him in practice the other day. Ben Roethlisberger overthrew him on a go, and I looked back at him like, oh, he's going to be disappointed in that one. He was jumping up and down. He was so excited. They said that nobody can ever overthrow that guy. He was excited he missed him because he overthrew it.
7 catches for him tonight, 103 yards. And Ben with a little shovel. Moore, well, he gets to the 33-yard line, down to 3.5 minutes to play.
Well, a lot of sort of late yards here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which are going to skew the stats of this one. But this has been a defensive effort that is clearly one of the best of the year for the Patriots.
No question, despite the fact that Roethlisberger is going to wind up with about 300 or more. And that pass is incomplete as Sanders goes down, and Sanders is shaken on the play, covered by McCourty.
Let's give a little tip of the hat to that offensive line for the New England Patriots. What a job they did. Anytime you play the Pittsburgh Steelers and all their blitz packages and all the things that Dick LeBeau can throw at you, when you see a goose egg right there, not on him, but yeah, that's a pretty good guy right there too, Sebastian Vollmer. He's had a heck of a game.
3rd and 2. And Ben, just before he gets hit, throws, and that'll be caught for a touchdown by Wallace. That play extension of Ben Roethlisberger, and again makes it pay off. Receivers keep working. Wallace gets free enough, and it's a 33-yard touchdown.
Well, Mike Wallace just never stops. Here he is. He's going to stop there. Now he sees him moving around. Okay, I'm going to run over here to this side. And somehow Ben finds these guys. I mean, their offense, so much of it is built around Ben Roethlisberger's ability to do this. Just move around. They can't tackle him. Good job that time inside. Jonathan Scott held his guy. And here we go again.
And again, they go for 2 to try to make it a 10-point game. And Ben throws it up, and we got a flag in the end zone.
Looked like one of the receivers got decked.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, number 32 defense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat the try from the 1-yard line.
Devin McCourty.
I'm not sure, but it looked like Vince Wilfork, who sort of fell off the line of scrimmage, comes back. And I can't believe Vince doesn't know the illegal contact rules down the field. Here's your nose tackle with an illegal contact down the field.
Patriots bring half a new group in with the ball at the 1-yard line. And this is Moore, and he will work his way into, well, he does get into the end zone. Forward progress across the goal line, and the 2-point try is good to make it a 10-point game.
Wow, that was a late call. Ended up calling that one maybe 5 seconds after he started to get driven back. No, it wasn't called immediately by the official on that side, but as that pile started moving back, I guess he had time to think about it and thought it was good.
Again, Belichick wants the challenge. He can. We're outside of 2 minutes and 2:59. The question is, do you see enough to overturn it? So the ball gets obscured here.
think the answer to that is no. I couldn't see it from that angle, and this one's not down the line. And
right. That's the issue.
Can't see it again, but you also have to wonder in that situation, how did the linesman see it either?
Right.
Doesn't matter. Well, this game's still not over. It's been crazy the fourth quarter.
36-26. So Pittsburgh again with an onside try here. The last one was touched before it went 10 yards. And now Belichick is going to challenge. Well, it looked like he reached down for the flag, and then he said, no. So here's Reed. Has to go 10 yards, and it is taken by Algie Crumpler. So they put Crumpler in on special teams in this situation. The tight end with the good hands, and New England will take over at the 32-yard line.
Well, it's one of the things they do on the hands team now. Instead of trying to catch it on the front line, they send those guys out to block and then let somebody with good hands in behind make the catch. That time Mayo with a great block in front that afforded Crumpler the opportunity to make the catch. Good play.
So Pittsburgh can stop it twice on defense. The ball at the 33-yard line, 2:57. Green Ellis is making sure he stays inbounds to the 30-yard line and compelling Pittsburgh to take its second time out. And there's the look on
holding
the face
number
of the guy.
98 defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, that's Casey Hampton with the penalty call.
Yeah, and one of the things you get or you've missed when the umpire is standing back in the backfield is some of those defensive holding calls. But now I believe at this point in the game, as he moved back behind him, did he? Yeah, I think it's the 5-minute mark. They go back behind.
Correct.
Again, and now you see the umpire, and so now some of those things defensive linemen can get away with, they can't get away with.
See the ball at the 25-yard line, and this is Green Ellis again to the 24-yard line. Huge night for that man. And in the history of the franchise, they began as the Boston Patriots in 1960. First Patriots rookie with 3 touchdowns in a game.
Yeah, it's always good to see a rookie that can bounce back like that. And if for the Kraft family, it's a pretty good bounce back game for them as well. I'm sure they're getting excited about what they're seeing with this team too.
2nd and 6. Here comes Polamalu. You see him racing in, and he overruns the play. And it's the 21-yard line for Green Ellis. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to take a timeout here on the other side, on the front side of the 2-minute warning.
Well, for the Patriots tight ends tonight, it has been a good evening. Starting right off with this bullet from Tom Brady for the touchdown. Then they get William Gay a little lost in the play fake and an easy one. And then a little confusion back there as well, and he was able to beat a corner, William Gay as well. And for Algie Crumpler, his night was a little more subtle. A lot of blocking inside on those outside linebackers, James Harrison and Lamar Woodley. And just enough of a running game to get those play-action fakes working for Tom Brady. And good night for some of those specialists on the outside. And really didn't even get to see that much of Aaron Hernandez, probably their best receiver.
3rd and 5. Green Ellis. It'll be 4th down. That takes us to the 2-minute warning at 1:58 officially, with the New England Patriots on top by a score of 36-26. And there is the 2-minute warning at Heinz Field. Patriots trying to go to 7-2.
Mike Vick. I think he's the leading passer in the league coming into this one, and I believe Vince Young is second. So it has been an impressive year for Mike Vick after it looked like, well, would he ever get his athleticism back or not? Boy, has he shown a lot this season.
See him next week. 36-yard attempt here for Graham. And Shane Graham's kick is a wobbly one, but goes through. Like he kicked the equivalent of a screwball there. Mesco puts it down, and which way does it go?
Yeah, but after a missed extra point tonight, I'm sure Shane Graham is
right.
thinking, I need all the good publicity I can get here. Ben Roethlisberger may be thinking, I could use a little help up front on that offensive line. You know, it really has been, people forget that Willie Colon, who was supposed to be the starting right tackle, and the guy I think is their best offensive lineman, was out from the beginning of the season with that Achilles. Chris Kamoatu should be back next week. Max Stark's out for the rest of the season, so this is going to be a makeshift group for pretty much the rest of the year.
Pittsburgh in the near future. Oakland comes here next week. Or starts. Oakland comes here after their bye week. And the Raiders are all of a sudden hot and very much in contention in that AFC West. And then the Steelers go to Buffalo. And then in 3 more weeks to Baltimore. And that'll be a Sunday night game on the 5th night of December. Graham's kick. Taken in at the 8-yard line. This is Isaac Redmond. Up to the 29-yard line.
Right. Coming
into this one, at some point, you're going to probably wind up with 3 home games in a row.
Right, 5 of their last 8 at home. Right. So, although this one didn't help them any.
And that is caught. Randall L. takes the ball out to the 40-yard line. First and 10. Then taking a little extra time here, considering the circumstance. Fires over the middle, and that'll be pulled in Patriot territory by Randall L. at the 46-yard line.
Well, and it's pretty easy to see now who they're focusing on for this Patriots defense. Mike Wallace is getting a lot of attention. They have seen enough of him tonight.
8 catches, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns for number 17. Miller. He's going to take it down to the 36-yard line. Clock ticking down to 45 seconds.
You know, at some point, you really need to begin to think about taking a shot, even if it's a Hail Mary, because you've got to get one more.
Like right here. And Ben, he's not going to be able to do it because he's going to go down in a heap at the 39-yard line, and that is 5 sacks of Roethlisberger tonight. Banta Kane and Warren are both there. Now Pittsburgh will spend its final timeout.
Well, the Patriots almost as many sacks tonight as they have all season. And Mike Wallace on the outside, they're going to get a shove early, and a lot of people standing around. They have defenders. I say, nope, not you. We'll let a young man by the name of Emmanuel Sanders take a shot at it. But really, at this point, I think that it's time, you just take your shot. Because even if you recover an onside kick, you're still going to have probably another completion before the Hail Mary.
Timeout. New England, a 30-second timeout.
The last time the Steelers gave up this many points at home, you'd go back to the AFC Championship game after the 04 season. And that was Bill Cowher as the head coach. It was 41-27. In an AFC Championship game, and of course New England came in here twice in the decade to win the conference title and proceed to the Super Bowl. 2nd and 13. And Ben will dump it underneath. And this is Moelde Moore. And Moore will get to the 15-yard line. With no timeouts, Ben indicates that he wants to spike it. Barely matters at this point. They're going to need 2 touchdowns, and we don't have time to do that.
I just don't get it. I don't know why you do that. That's just that's a give up there. You had to take a shot in the end zone, which would have left you enough time for the onside kick. But helps your stats, so what the heck. Maybe make a few $100 on your next contract.
Well, they started the drive by dinking and dunking and taking a little too much time. But you're right. This is a classic case of 2 guys throwing for 300 yards. One of them, Brady, had a great night. And it's a legit 350. And Roethlisberger is going to wind up throwing for over 350 yards tonight. But you know why? Playing catch-up all evening. Sanders. And that's the way the game will end, with a plant by Mayo. And the New England Patriots follow their worst performance of the year with a great performance on the road. Go to 7-2 and remain on top of the AFC East with the New York Jets. Coming up next, the Wendy's postgame report that will follow from Heinz Field. But first, these messages from your local NBC station.